Hey folks, it's Key of W again with the Artisan of Glimmith. I am going through to bejewel all my windows, and I'm thinking about taking care of this Palisade one. I've got a lot of puzzles here to do. I don't know if I'll do all 10 in one video. Depends on how I feel, how long they take. Because Palisades, it's a rule that just doesn't come naturally to me. And from what I've seen in like the discussions on Steam, it feels like Palisade is a rule that a lot of people struggle with. Um, or if not completely struggle with, at least find less intuitive than some of the other rules. So I could struggle just as badly. Oh my god. Okay. I don't. What is it with the fours? What is it with the difficulty 4 where the puzzle just looks like this shit? Um. All right. There's got to be a break-in that isn't a guess. There's got to be a way for me to go, let me try something that I think I know it'll do rather than let me just try something until it doesn't work. Because that shit ain't going to fly. Now, whatever the case here, this center section is going to look like we got a piece here, for instance, that would go up like so, which would force these to be like that, right? And then this piece would have to bend somewhere. But this center is one possibility. Possibility number 2 comes this way and then blocks like that. So in both cases, we have walls like that. There's our break-in. That's good. That means that this piece here has got to move up. This piece has got to move up. This piece got to move down, and that piece got to move down in order to make a corner piece. You can't have walls on opposite sides of a corner piece thing. Shoo, where do we go from there? If we move either of these corners into the center, we're basically saying that our middle palisade is horizontal. Because if it wasn't, it would cross into that. This is still possible if I move it into either of those spaces. Yeah, I don't have any restrictions aside from Palisades, so I could block this off and have a single region just fine. Here we go. This is our one and only single wall region. So this region takes all 4 of those spaces, which is going to finish us off here, and our corner piece is going to go this way. It could become part of that? No, it cannot. It has to be blocked here, which means this corner goes here. We're done with that. This corner could go down, or this corner could go in. We don't know. We don't know yet because we don't know the centerpiece. Because we can still do this crap. Or we could bring this in. I don't know yet. This piece, we could bring this up, or we could say that's the end of that. I just know that this can't go through, so we got to have a corner here, which can still move into that space. We don't know for sure. Can I move into... Oh, I can move into there just fine. I'd like to be able to work out what this is without just taking a stab at it and seeing what happens. Because again, that's bad. I don't want to be like, okay, what if I do this? Yeah, I know it says this doesn't work because I could just move that out there. But like, now this is a guess. This is what I'm doing is I'm saying, what if I do that rather than me knowing what would happen with the puzzle and logically working out? We can't do this. The constraint on bringing through the center horizontally is that this piece has to bend again. But it's not a huge constraint. Actually, I can probably look at this corner piece. Duh. This corner piece is set. So now we have to have this. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. This is a corner piece like this, and it's got to be blocked here, meaning red has to come in, orange has to come in this way. So because this is a dead end, we now know what is in the center. We can't bring red to the right here, which means this corner piece is one giant orange piece. The center now has to be horizontal, like this. These two have to be the pieces in the middle, which means we do have to bring this through. Let me make it the blue color instead. Now that looks like that color. Okay, we have to do that. That's our corner piece. So this corner piece now has to be part of purple. This one's got to be part of orange, and then green goes down here. No, right. This is a corner piece, not a dead end. So orange or yellow goes down here, and we have a finished piece like that. Not bad. Just takes me a little bit longer to process what I'm doing with the Palisade. Something back here that's good. 6s. I'm saving the 6s and 7s for later. Let's hit some 5s. Okay, this is set right here. That's just immediate. Not even. I wouldn't even call that a break-in. I would just call that the gimme. Sometimes the puzzle just gives you a couple bits, you know. These two could just be one unit. I have no other restriction. It's just the Palisade restriction. This one is also a gimme. We have to do that, which means this dead end is set. Now, this could all be one thing. We're not totally sure. Here, we have to bring out, because the corner piece means that's got to be blocked, which is going to give us another corner piece like this. Okay, what do we do from there? Because we could bring this up, have the dead end elsewhere. This could be the dead end like so. We can always just have an empty unit. We don't have a restriction on that. I suppose I can look at all these corners and see what would happen logically, what would break the puzzle. Because if I take this corner, we have to go all the way up like so. Which doesn't break a goddamn thing. Now, if we do this, we have to bring the corner. We can't bring the corner that way. We're on both sides of a border. We'd have to bring it in. Which means this corner has to be like that. And that doesn't break anything either. I'm missing something. Kind of feels like everything just works. This has to be a wall, though. I should probably think about that. This is a wall. That's a wall. Which means... Does it mean an orange? Orange can't go up to both of these, but it could go up into one of them. Can it go up into this one? So if it goes up into one dead end, we have to have a long chain of corners. It's just going to happen. If it goes up into a dead end here, this becomes that section. If it goes up to this dead end, we could stop there. We could just stop there. It would also force red here, which would break. It would break. Okay. I think that can't happen. So, no. That's got to be... So the question is, do we do this and make it just a box? Or do we make a big old ziggy-zaggy? Because if I make a box, this corner here would have to be like that, right? But we'd have to have just an empty spot, basically. Which is fine. That's totally legal. We can do that. And we don't have to block that now. Which means this is part of purple. There's really no getting around that. Purple could also be a nice little box. But it also could just be part of that. Means that is no longer the piece. This dark purple makes it hard to see the walls. So on particular rules where you need to see the walls, it is annoying. I don't know. Maybe it's my eyesight, but... The purple is dark enough that it's really hard to tell exactly what I've done with the walls. So... Yeah, does the purple... If the purple does this right here, we have a lot of options. If it does this, this dead end is now forced that direction, but... Do we have a similar issue with the reds? If the red moves up, we have to have a box here. If it moves up this way, we could still have the box, or we could have one of these fancy guys. And that's still possible. Like, it looks like the game is baiting me into doing a bunch of zigzags. If I take this spot, though, I think I'm forcing a bunch of boxes, right? And so I think this would break because we would have to now do this, and we would have to do that. And we would have to do this. And I think this is where the puzzle breaks. This is how it is. Because we have a problem there. So I think the game is saying you can't put one there. So if this can't go here, that does mean we go up, and it means we go... Yeah, it means this all has to be 1. That's got to be 1. That's got to be 1. Which means we do have to do this. Got to have this. We got to have a dead end here and here. Which is fine. Yeah? That's got to be a thing, and then we just put some regular dead ends. Yeah, okay. That's a fine puzzle. It just wasn't interesting? I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It just didn't do something that was like, oh my gosh, wow, what a clever But they can't all do that. Some of them are just going to be regular puzzles that you solve, and at least I feel pretty good about solving that one. This is the wrong area. I'm supposedly have 8 puzzles to go, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking for some pillars of light, as if from God himself. There's one. Oh, god damn it. It's a big precision. I mean, it tells me something. I'm going to have 2 of these units. That's at least what I got to start with. So we'll start with this unit right here, because this Palisade does tell me these 4 regions. That's 4 out of 18. Now this one also tells me what I got to do here, which means both of these regions have to be the opposite color. We've got a corner piece here, and it can't move up because we're going to have a tiny little region. Tiny region in the wine. So we got to do this all the way. Corner piece can only be like this. Yes, if the corner piece... Well, we got to block this. We can't go straight. If it were to move to the right, we can't move much further. This is a small unit now, so it does in fact have to move left. That is what we get. All right. Now what? I've got to have... Yeah, I've got to have cyan on the other side of all these walls. Now, if we move... If we were to say that orange doesn't go into this palisade right here, if we say orange is blocked here, we have a big problem because now blue's going to take all 4 of those spots and orange is trapped. So orange does have to move into this spot. So if we say this, I'm saying if we say orange goes no further, this is where the line must be drawn. We do have to take both these spaces, but it doesn't look like it is a disaster because we can bring blue in another way. I don't think this will work, but I don't know why. If we said orange is blocked at the top, this causes a bit more of an issue. We would have to block here. We'd have to go in there. It's fine here because we have a way for blue to get through. It's just a question of, do we move this up or do we say this is a corner piece here? Wouldn't be able to do a corner piece here because then orange is trapped down in this area because we can't bring it around this side. It's done. So we'd have to bring it up. But if we brought it up here, it's a dead end. We're stuck. We'd have to bring it all the way around and do something like this. And now we can't get blue into that spot. So I think we can't bring orange this way. I think that's what it is while I'm working that out, right? Because if we bring orange this way, we're saying that blue is here. Well, if blue, it moves down, we're done. So you can't do that. If blue moves up, then this is done. So yeah, that's probably a quicker way to logically determine we can't do the wall here. So the wall can't be here, and it can't be there. Wait, no, that wasn't the one I determined. It can't be there, so that goes in. The wall can't be here because we have a similar issue with blue. No, we don't. We don't have a similar issue with blue. That might actually work. So we can't block it here. It was here that was the problem. We can't block that. So we do have to move this up. So I think blue is going to move in this way, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We can actually get orange all the way around. You can get around here. How much is that? That's 18. That's done. That's just it. All right. I would give that a nice mid rating from me. 666. We got 3 puzzles there. We got 3 puzzles over here. We've got 7 left. So I guess it's time to start hitting those 6s. I just want to make sure there's not like a 1 or a 2 that I'm missing. That is obvious. Let's hit that. Here it is. It's a 3. Yeah, get this shit out of the way. All right. This piece right here is set. Or at least we have got a gimme here, which is going to give us another gimme right here. Make this a little bit of a lighter cyan so you can see the walls better. There's the wall for this piece. It means that's got to go down like so. We've got a corner there. Yeah, the purple can't move down into this spot. So we're going to make this a nice orange like so. There's a dead end here. That's done. That's done. Dead end. This can't move up now, so that's done. Can I make this a nice lighter purple? I can see what the hell I'm doing. Corner piece here means it's got to move up, which means it doesn't move to the right, because then we'd have a border problem. So we got that going on. Single piece, lighter green, please. Thank you. This corner piece is now set as well. Like so. This is possible. This is possible. That's possible. Like, this is easy. We can just do it, but there's nothing that says we have to. How about here? We gotta have something there. And then we gotta block that, which means this is up and down, so that is taken care of there. This can't move up, so we've got another set. This is a new piece, and it's a box. Can I bring this in? Yes. No, because then this corner would go. So there we go, that's a box. That means this goes in this way. It's a dead end. I'm going to make it a different color that I haven't used ever, which is green. Lighter green, please. Thank you. That's done. And then in here, we are now forced to make this go over. So orange goes there. Yeah. Okay, neat. Neat puzzle. All right. I probably will not do all the remaining 6 puzzles because they're all 6s and 7s. Oh, no, there's a 5. We're going to do the 5. That's done. Precision 4. Mingle shape Palisade. Now that's a set of rules I like to see. So we've got our teal shape. We've got a T shape here. These are forced. Now here is going to be an L or an I shape. Not sure which. Oh, hold on. We got an S shape over here. Not much we can do about that. This one could be an I shape just fine. It can't be a T because mingle shape says no. I can't be an O or T. Could be an S. Can't be an S. Can't be an S, and here's why. This is the only S you can make. This is a dead end piece. So this piece would go in and we're done. Not a T, not an S, not an O. So it's an I or an L. And it can't be an L because that's the L shape. That's an I shape. This can't be I or T or O, so it's S or L. And doesn't seem like I have a restriction on that quite yet. If this was an L, there's a lot of ways I can make this. Let's not go up that far. L could... L's tricky. L can't go that way. L would have to be this shape, which would force this to be an S shape, because if it was an L shape, we'd have a mingle shape violation. It would have to be an S shape here, which is a problem. L shape here is bad. Here's why. We'd have to do this, and now what piece goes here? Can't be L, S, or T, because a T shape is going to touch that. So it'd be an I shape or an O shape, which doesn't work. The end. This is an I shape. Now, does it go all the way up? Or does it go there? If it stops here, we have to have an O shape at the bottom, right? If this is the... this is the wall. That's an O shape. There's no getting around it. But then we'd have to bring that up, and then what do we do here? S? Hold on. I don't think this works either, as I'm trying to just see things. This doesn't work for me because we now can't put an L piece here. So we have to put an S piece here. The reason this doesn't happen is now how do I fit a piece here and there without them clashing with each other? Right? You say, oh, an L goes here, because that's the only thing that fits now is L. All right, look at this. You can see immediately we can't make this work because we have to put the O piece here and an S piece there. So I think this is, in fact, the way we go, which is going to put L or S down here. L or S down here. Up here, I mean. I think an L here breaks the puzzle. Because now we can't put an L here. We have an S. You see what I mean? And now what do we put there? So I think we have to have the S at the top. Golly gee whiz, I hope that this is the right thing to do. S. Yes, I've got it. This is the L here. And we put an O in this shape, and then we have an S at the bottom. Wow, this one actually used all 5 tetrominoes too. See, we've done enough tetromino puzzles that instead of me trying to work out what a precision 4 means, I know this part. I can use these 3 rules and then use my brain. See, that's what I like. I don't want to have to sit here and relearn a new system of government while I'm solving a puzzle, unless I have 25 of those to pick up on how the rules work. Let's see. We got a bunch of sixes. We're going to do at least 1 6 today. Shape bank. All regions must be one of these shapes. You're not my dad. You don't tell me what to do. Palisade, Delta, and Gemini. Okay, so if I'm looking at the way these shapes are, I'm actually going to draw it on the notes so that I can show you what I mean. We're going to have dead end, corner, straightaway, dead end. That's our L shape. The C shape is dead end, corner, straightaway, corner, dead end. And then the J shape, we've got dead end, corner, straightaway, dead end. Barely can see that. So all of them have 2 dead ends. We have 1 or 2 corners and then 1 or 2 straightaways. And that's all we're adding. Okay, so of course that's what we see here, but that can tell us which part of the piece we have. So dead end here, straightaway there. Now all of them have these 3 pieces, so there isn't, we can't look at a single palisade and immediately go, it's not one of these pieces because it's not featured in that thing. So this note has shown me is that this is going to be harder than I want it to be. We can start with this corner piece at the very least and move it out to the left, because if it doesn't move to the left, we have a straightaway or a dead end, which it isn't. So the corner piece has to move there, which cannot be blocked here because then we block that. So this corner, these have to go this way. So we have our straightaway piece here, at least one of them. So let's see. If we were to bring this piece down, we now have the J piece. That's legal. We can do that. In fact, this can't be the L piece. That's all I know is this cannot be the L. It could be J this way. It could also be J this way. It's nothing really stopping me. It could also be the C piece as long as it goes up. Whatever it is, it has to be here. So this is also not the L piece. Now, could this be the J piece in any way, shape, or form? Well, if it was a C piece, for instance, or a J piece, it would go up here. Yeah, this could be the dead end piece like that. Ah, damn. There's a lot of ways I can do this. Like, god damn it, I can do this. No. No. Okay, I wanted to have a better idea. So let's see. Here, straight away, this is forced. We have to bring it through this way. I need a lighter purple, please. Corner piece means that is the end. And also no piece is greater than 3 in a row. So we do have to block both of those directions. All right, I think I have something worked out. If I move this to the left, we have now determined this is an L piece. If I move it left. The reason is, if it's a C or a J piece, this would also have to move left, and we have an orphan cell. So if this is the case, this piece would have to move out and then bend. So it's either an L, which would break this, or it's a J, which would break the corner. So this piece does not bend left. This one could bend left, unfortunately. We could still have an L piece that bends left. We could also just have a C piece. I just don't know. Somebody help me. Okay, over here, we've got a piece that moves up and down. Means we have to block this. I see. No, I don't see. Okay, I was thinking I have this. This is forced to go this way, but it's not because we could just have an ending piece here. If I moved... this is how it would go. If I move the red into this straightaway, then we definitely have the J piece. It's the only piece of 2 straightaways, which is going to give us a problem there. So we do have to block this, which means this does move up and down. We do have a J piece here. We've got our first piece in. This piece has to move left, and it has to be the L piece. It's the only thing we have, and it does not break our delta. And I am going to say that is correct, and I hope I'm right. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to use certain colors for certain pieces, and we're just going to stick with it. That way we know. This color, in fact, I'll say orange. We don't know what that is, so it's orange. So now we know this is a J piece. What direction is the J piece going to go? If we assume this is a dead end, if it moves up, right? If it's a dead end that moves up, it is now this section, and it has to bend like so. Which is not possible. We can't do this. We can't bend this way because then I have to bend through its own neighbor here, which is illegal. So if we bend this way as a J piece, this piece has to be a J piece. It can't bend this way because what's it going to do? And it can't bend this way because what's it going to do? So we know that's not a J piece moving up. So it's got to move down. Now it could move down like so, as far as we know. I don't think this will work. I don't think this will work. But so far, that is a legal shape, at least for this piece. It is also... Oh, no, that's the only legal shape. We can't move up. Because it's a J piece, we have to do this. We break the puzzle. So we have to do that. Now, if it goes down 3 spaces, there's a corner piece here, which is not a thing we can do. So we have to do this. But doesn't this break the puzzle? Because this also has to be a J piece, which will go here. Oh dear. I can't go there. So it does go up? Oh, no, hold on. This is the one we can't do. It could be this way. This doesn't change anything. It does. I got it. Ha. This is it. Let's go. This is the only thing I can do. And I'm saying it's the only thing I can do because it's the only thing I could think of. So I know this isn't a J piece, but this is not really that helpful of the delta because I couldn't fit a J piece here even if I wanted to. So over here I've got, okay. I've got to put a bunch of L pieces in here. That's all I can do. Because I got to put something here that bends, right? It's got to go out and then it's got to bend. But it can't go anywhere else. There's no legal move for it. This is the same issue. We've got to bend, and we've got to bend here. So now this space has to be an L shape. Because it can't C and it can't J. So I want light purple while I'm thinking about walls because of Palisades. If I was just thinking about areas, I can do dark colors all I like. So the fact that this all seems to fit really nicely has suggested to me that I'm a genius and I figured the puzzle out. I'm going to say that. Now, what do I do from here? Whatever this piece is, we got to move it down. And same with that. They could be part of the same thing. What goes here? Whatever goes here has got to move out because it's got to be one of these shapes. It can't bend to the left because then it would create an S shape, which it's not legal. So it would have to keep going out. So it's got to go at least that far. So it's a L or it's a J. But it means that this is the corner piece, like so, which does in fact give us a C shape here. Now here, we could just have an L shape, it's fine. In fact, we have to. If we go through here, we have 4 in a row. So we have to have an L shape here, which means straightaway wise, we have to go through, which means this has to be the dead end. So straightaway, this has to be a C shape, and the only way we can do that is like so, which gives us a J shape there. I think this is correct. I think we've got this one now. It's just a question of how we get the final bit of solving. We can go this way, we can make this an L. We already can't make it a C just because there's nowhere for it to go, so there's no temptation with that. If I made this a J shape, how on earth would I make it a J shape? That's the J shape. So this is, in fact, an L shape here, which means this could be an L just fine, but then what would we put in all these shapes? I think this is a J shape. How would it work? If it's an L shape. How would I make any of this work? I don't think this is right. If we bring this out, the only thing this can be now is an L shape. Is there any other thing I could have done with this? Oh, if I made a mistake way back here, that'd be so funny. I'd hate it, but that'd be so funny. Because this is now an L shape, which we can't do. What if we said that's the L shape? How about that? How about we try something different? And then we break the puzzle here. Damn it. I'd love to say this is the J shape, but it breaks two different rules. Because now this can't go anywhere. Is there any other... This can't be any other shape. This has to be L. This one, if it's J, we have a J here. And then what do we have here? We've got a problem. If it's L, then we have an L there, which is fine. But then what on earth are we putting all these spots? Like there's just nothing left. There's like L shapes here, but this here is the problem. So this can't happen. We know that. This can't go that far. Is there something here I've done wrong? It's possible. It's possible it's all here. No, I don't see how it's possible this is anything different. Because we have to figure out a piece here. It can't bend that way. It can't do that. So we do still have to bend. This has to be here. Yeah, we've got this. This has to be straight away. Maybe this is just an L shape here. This one doesn't have to be J. Because then I can put an L shape here and an L shape there. And I can break the puzzle. I can't do that. Put an L shape there and a C shape here. And then we do a bunch of L shapes. We do a bunch of L shapes. That's it. It's all L's. It's L's all the way down, baby. One more? Do I feel like doing one more in here? One more 6? Not the 7, not today. No, I'm going to save them. I'm going to save the rest of this Palisades section for later. I just don't feel like doing it all in one video. I feel like doing something else. So I will. Whew. That was actually a pretty good puzzle. What did I click on? Where was I? I was here? This is pretty good. I was just baited down here. I just assumed that for some reason, because the J fits so nicely in here, that it must be the J. But it, in fact, was not the J. Yeah, well done with that. Best puzzle I've played in, well, this video for sure. And that's all. Thanks so much for watching. I will leave and come back and hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.